what is common between Paul, Bhuda, Alhallaj, Hitler, Stalin, and Mussolini? Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Ibrahim Nasser. I'm a community pediatrician and urgent care physician. Probably most of you will say there's nothing common between very good people who influenced humanity in a very good way and the very bad people who destroyed in other sense a lot of the human life on earth. So we will discuss these ideas. Now, if we look at we have many common things, but we'll start with, first of all of them are males. So when they are males, it means nothing. When we look at the physiology, there's that the male hormone, which is testosterone, is increased when you have leaders of opinion or people in power who govern people. This will increase their testosterone levels, and testosterone in this case will increase and boost the work of dopamine. What is dopamine? Dopamine is the main brain neurotransmitter that makes the brain feels that I feel good, I am happy about myself. So this is the main neurotransmitter for addiction. And when the dopamine is increased, it will also activate the morphines of the brain like endorphins. So this will increase the feel good about the person who feel good about himself. So this we find that the common thing between these people, but even in different ways, is that they have addiction of power, and this is boosted by their testosterone, and then by their dopamine, and then by their endorphins. And so we'll explain this in the cycle of addiction when we come to that again. Other things that are in common, if we look at the phenotype, most of the leaders of opinion of the people who their influence stayed thousands of years, probably hundreds of years, most of them are in the height are middle. They are not tall. So this is the statistic speaking, not not 100%, but most of them like that. So we don't have this, and this is from the phenotype. Now, if we look at the genotype, till now we didn't find that there's a gene for that called the leadership of opinion gene. So people, in that sense, they work on themselves to be leaders of opinion, and they go from one town to another town to influence people. So there's a really hard work there, and these people are different really from, let's say, the kings or leaders who inherit their leadership. Now, when we come to the addiction of power, we have 3 stages. Stage 1 is called the binge, and addiction, either you are addicted to alcohol or drugs, or you are addicted to power. It have the same phenomena. The first one is that you increase of taking the drug, or you try to influence people more and more, and in that sense, that this, as we said, that it will boost their testosterone, then it will this will boost their dopamine, the neurotransmitter in the basal ganglia of the brain. This is where's the place that people feel that they are good about themselves. And now the second stage is called the withdrawal stage. After that, then when the drug is finished or alcohol finished, you have this withdrawal symptoms. And this also apply in the people who are in power and they lose their power. So they will also suffer from withdrawal symptoms. These can be very negative feelings or even sickness of the body. And the place where all this happens in the brain is called in the extended amygdala. The third stage is the preoccupation stage. Preoccupation, that then the person needs to seek again power or seek for drugs again or alcohol. And this happens in the prefrontal cortex of the brain. The prefrontal cortex of the brain is responsible for taking decisions, prioritize your decisions, manage time. So it's a very important place to and so either in this stage the people seek again power. We can see that this happened with Napoleon when he returned from the Helena Island to seek power again, and he reached the power again in France to be an emperor again. So even in real life, with the alcohol, with the drugs. So, but now we'll explain what's the difference between each of these people. So regarding Paul the Apostle, I mean, he is the real founder of Christianity. He went from Tarsus to Damascus to Tikrit to all these cities he visited, and he was preaching about Christ and his. So he was preaching about the 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 the, the disciplines of good ways, and to love your neighbor, to not harm anybody, and he paid his life for that. He was beheaded in one of these cities, and now there's a big church where he was beheaded. And this also comes to Alhallaj. Alhallaj was really a main founder of Sufism, and Sufism depends that you should do a lot of virtue and help others so that you can unite with God, because that God is inside you, as Christ said that he is the God is inside him. And also Al-Hallaj paid a heavy price in the days of 1115 in Baghdad, when the Khalifa Abbasi there, and he was beheaded, and his arms were cut, and his legs were cut, and was spreaded on the Baghdad Iron Bridge at that time. Also, when we come to Bhuda, we find that he gave up. He was living in a royal life and very rich, and he gave this up, and he lived a very poor life, and he was working on, went from city to city, and lived in a very poor way, and never returned to that rich life. And in that sense, he said that each person he has a light in himself, and he should search for his light so that he can feel satisfied about his life. On the contrary of the Hitler, Stalin, Mussolini, who started with good ideas for better life of people, they ended up in massacres, in genocides, and their influence on humanity will be forever remembered as a very negative one. I think we covered all we understand now that there's two addictions of power. The one that goes inside, with like Paul and Buddha and Al-Hallaj, and then it will reflect outside in a very good sense. And the addiction of power of like leaders of like Hitler, Mussolini, or Stalin, or their addiction of power led them kill millions of people. Thank you very much.